How you doing? It's been a while. I had lots of issues, mostly revolving around my dog having surgery and then relapsing in health from autoimmune deficiency. So I just haven't had the energy for videos. Recently, Aron Ra posted an erroneous, misleading commentary by a biologist. In this post, it attempts to conflate intersex or persons with DSTs with trans people, which is a false analogy. I attempted to point this out, and I also pointed out several other things. Aron did not like this and attempted to engage with me and repeatedly refuses to answer my questions, denies that I answered them, and just generally gives bad argumentation, poor examples for his position. So I took it upon myself early on, before any real conflict had started. And I copied much of our conversation and put it in Chat GPT for analysis. And they said Aron Ra was being very emotional and he's going to appeal to the audience a lot. And they said I was presenting rational arguments, logically constructed. Well, he dismissed that because, just because I don't know. I mean, can you dismiss an argument just because AI supports it? So I offered several times to say, how about we debate this? Or how about we even discuss this? I used both terms. And he never acknowledged that for a long time. And he made a video about me, well, partly about me, I think inspired by me. Um, and he misrepresented me again. And again attempted to argue for his position using erroneous examples. And then he finally said, why don't you come on the line and talk to me there? And I said, no, I want equal time. I want a format. And I don't want them to mute me because the line will mute you. They will. And rarely, I've never seen anyone that disagrees with them being allowed to get their time in because they will constantly interrupt you. You will say, oh, I went to Walmart this weekend. What do you mean by Walmart? Well, I mean, I went to Walmart. Well, we need to clarify our terms. Okay, I went to Walmart. Well, okay. So, that's a parody, but essentially that's what they would do. So it wasn't a favorable thing. And also, um, that was the time I was sharing with my wife for dinner and being with each other. And talking with Aron wasn't going to take priority over that. So I didn't call in. But he did deign to comment about me in the introduction. And I will address that in a separate video. This is, I think, one of three. Part one. One's going to be very long. It's going to be a response to his twits and twats in the bathrooms. The other one will be a response to his intro to the line. And this one, which is a voice AI generated form of our conversation. I tried to duplicate Aron's voice, but I wasn't going to pay the money to do that. So Aron just gets some random voice that I picked. I get a British voice, My images will be represented by David Hume. Now, I know David Hume is Scottish, but they didn't have a Scottish option, so I took British. So here we go. Enjoy. Oh, one more note. Um, for some reason, it could be that Aron actually deleted my comments, but I used a friend's account to try to go get the images that Aron used. Couldn't do that because all my comments are gone. I tried newest comments, I tried relevant comments, I tried all comments, and you could see that there's 128 comments, and I probably know that 50 of them are mine, and they're not there. People tag me, but my responses aren't there. So either Aron was so pedantically irritated that he went and deleted all my comments along with his, if they were under one of my threads, or something weird's going on. I don't know. So, yeah. So I don't want anybody making excuses saying that wasn't the image Aron used. I'm guesstimating, doing the best I can.
My post said that if trans people have human rights, then it doesn't matter whether they can objectively justify how they identify. How they identify obviously means gender.
The issue is when they attempt to use a subjective identity to gain entry into opposite sex spaces. Many have, on this thread, emphasized the difference between sex and gender. Fine. Acknowledge that gender does not allow entry into opposite sex spaces and sports. Trans persons have rights, but sometimes your rights don't allow you to override the rights of others.
Tell me whether this person is using a subjective identity and which restroom they should be in.
Tell me whether women should be able to decide who is in their spaces or not. I've no idea from just a headshot. There's a lot more into judging the sex of person than a costume.
Tell me whether this person is using a subjective identity and which restroom they should be in.
Should women be able to deny these men entry to their spaces? Let's address the general issue before deflecting to specific cases.
Tell me whether this person is using a subjective identity and which restroom they should be in.
You're attempting to use rhetoric instead of logic and ethics. Address the general question first, then we can work up to your challenge. Do women have the right to deny access to men into their spaces? Note I never use man or woman to refer to gender. But yes, they are using subjective identity. And they need to use the bathroom of their sex.
Sadly, I am the only one who is using logic in this discussion. To illustrate, let's say that all three of these people walk into the same restroom. This person is already in there. Now, logically, according to you, do any of these people have the right to throw out any of the others? And how would they go about doing that or justifying it?
Sure. Put that into a sound syllogism.
Since you dodged that question too, then allow me to address your question by paraphrasing the prerequisite. How do you suggest that any of these people pictured in this thread determine who should or should not be in the ladies' room? And on what criteria would any of them oust someone else?
I did answer your first question. You've never answered mine. To answer your second, I need to see the syllogism. So, your logic seems to be based on appearance and whether or not a person is attractive or not. You claim to be using logic, but cannot create a syllogism. I can. Bathrooms are based on sex. Appearance is not sex. Bathrooms are not based on appearance. To reiterate, I answered your question. Those persons should use the bathrooms of their sex. Once a female space allows males, then it ceased to be a female space. Again, are these persons expressing an identity, and should women have the right to exclude them from their spaces? Your answer would seem to be yes, because they don't pass, correct? If it's not about passing, what is it about? And what are your criteria?
I guess you're just not going to answer my questions, which you must if your contention is to make any sense.
I literally answered your question twice. Since it's subjective, I don't know a person's gender identity. TRAs push that point as well since they advocate asking everyone's pronouns. I stated they should use the bathrooms of their sex. Clear? Now, answer mine.
So, are you suggesting that we appoint a monitor on every restroom to check IDs? Do you really think this person belongs in the men's room? Because I don't think your judgment is either sound or justified. It sounds reactionary, prejudiced, bigoted, not considered.
It's well considered. An ambivalent AI program agrees it is. Your first question is an appeal to emotion. You are arguing since it's hard to keep deceptive men out, we shouldn't try. If this person is a man, yes, they need to use the men's restroom. It is sound because it is based on facts and not prejudice against women. Your judgment is built on misogyny. You've still yet to answer one question of mine. That's very telling of how irrational your position is. Should women be allowed to decide who is or is not in their spaces? When Will Thomas was dangling his dong in a room full of women, some of whom went to broom closets to change, should they have been in the right to exclude him? Is your argument if someone passes, they should be allowed, but those that don't pass shouldn't? Again, which bathroom do these persons belong, and how do you tell? What is it based on? I mean, I can easily counter your rhetorical tricks with examples of my own. That's why your position is built on stereotypes and is regressive. Here, my rhetorical trick. Does the person screaming its mum in this video identify as a male or female, and which bathroom should they use?
You're gonna give me my back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here. You need to
I
watch
told
him
her,
out,
so
or I
excuse
can
me, it's
call-
ma'am.
I'm sorry.
It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was a general.
Right beforehand, you said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Mother, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you.
I apologize.
Mo- I need your corporate number because I'm going to call them and talk about how it's misgendered several times in this store.
I apologize for that.
I need your corporate number now.
I can get it for you if you'd like. That's not a problem.
Get it for me now.
I can do that. I'm going to ask you to calm down and stop cussing.
Give me your
Stop
corporate
hitting
number.
destroying property.
Well, I'm going to ask you for the 5th time to stop calling me a man because quite clearly I am not.
You accuse me of arguing from emotion when I am not. You're the one doing that. This person was assigned female at birth, but he is literally not a female now. If you would force this man into the ladies' room, knowing what a threat he would seemingly pose to the women there, then you obviously don't really care about the right of those women to kick anyone out of their space. All you do care about is that you don't want trans people to have their constitutionally guaranteed freedom of expression. You want to deny them their right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness purely out of your own wholly unjustified bigotry. Why don't you just admit that the real problem is your indefensible emotional prejudice, not anyone else's gender identity?
It's quite simple. Let's start at the beginning. Restrooms are divided based on sex. Women are one of two sexes. Should they have the right to decide who does and who doesn't enter their spaces and sports? Please answer.
I'm not the one trying to deny any individual their rights. You are. You're the one demanding that this man follow your daughter into the restroom and sit at the stall next to her, knowing that what you're demanding is the wrong thing to do to both of them. I have answered multiple times. Now you have something to answer for.
That person is still female. You should know that. Female is based on gametes, not appearance. That's science. That's a real definition. I would not force that person, but men would have that right. That person will never be a man. Again, why do the rights of the trans person override the rights of the women? The First Amendment guarantees freedom of religion. I'm atheist, by the way. But if a person's religion states they cannot be in a bathroom with a person of the opposite sex to whom they're not married in a public place, you are saying the rights of the transgender override the rights of the religious person. How did you make that determination? I'd be happy to debate this live. You literally have not. Screenshot it. I can screenshot my answers.
I literally have answered you twice,
Don't
where you still
misgender
have not
me.
answered about the person with AIS. Your
So
insistence
let's
that
look
sex
at
be determined only by gametes is
one of Aaron's
inconsistent,
favorite
not
things, which
applicable
is
in all
Chat
cases.
GPT.
There is no reason
I
to
entered this
continue with you.
very conversation that I
You are
showed
in the
you
wrong. What you're
into it,
demanding is morally wrong. You know as well as I
and it
do that
says,
your solution
summary
is
of Aaron's
worse than the
questions.
problem you
And
imagine.
did I answer? What restroom should they use? Yes, repeatedly and clearly. Are they using a subjective identity? Yes, clear and principled. How do we determine access in ambiguous cases? Yes, sex, not appearance. Should there be restroom monitors? Partially, could be more specific. Should passing trans women be in men's rooms? Yes. Answered with nuance. Would you force a transitioned person into the ladies' room? Yes, with clarification. AIS intersects people? Not yet. I actually did answer specifically about AIS to someone else. Perhaps Aaron didn't see it. And of course, it wasn't included in the conversation between he and I. And this is called among TERFs, which is tired of explaining reality fools. The intersex gambit. Yeah, it's a game. Intersex does not equal trans. So it's just a little game they play. My summary table. My question. Would women be able to deny men entry? Directly answered, no. Dodged. Do women have the right to deny access? No, not answered. Dodged. Is passing the standard? Not answered. Dodged. What are your criteria? Not answered. Dodged. Which bathroom should these people use? Not directly answered, but it was reframed. Should women decide who is in their spaces? No. Dodged. Should Leah Thomas have been excluded? Not answered. Ignored. What about responding to the ma'am video and telling me whether he thought that person is identifying as a woman? He partially answered it. It's the first real response. I guess I missed that. Why did trans rights override women's? No, he didn't answer. Dodged. How did you determine rights hierarchy? No, he didn't. He dodged. Debate live? No, he didn't address it. He ignored it. So my final tally was at least 5 of his 6 or 7. His final tally is directly answered 0, partially answered 1, dodged or ignored 10 plus. Yet this guy is going to get on video and tell me I did not answer his questions and he did answer mine. The proof is right there. Anyone can go to his Facebook page and read the thing, if you can, because Facebook messes up the messages now. And as I said at the beginning, Aaron may have deleted all my comments. Yeah, I wanted to go over a few of the photos that you saw during the debate. If you remember, Aaron posted this picture of a supposed trans woman, but the more I looked at it, the more I said, I'm pretty sure that's AI. And I just now did load it into a AI detector, and it said they were like 99% sure it was AI. So Aaron downloaded a picture of an AI generated trans woman, and he used that in his argument. So I'm thinking he got it from this article, I Am a Trans Woman, Take Two, by Shizuka Stearns Morishita. This is the real Shizuka Stearns Morishita. Wonder what Aaron thinks now. So this picture here that I made as a composite was to show how fallacious Aron's reasoning was, because he would never state whether women could tell police their stations. So from this image, you can see on the top is Tara J. Tara J is infamous. He's probably had more accounts canceled than Trump. Infamous for being on TikTok and literally telling trans persons they need to arm up, and that Tara J dared anyone to stop him or another trans person entering the bathroom. They would be the last mistake they ever made. That's what he said. So, Aron, what about identity? I think Tara J is sincere. Next is the famous Lily Tino. You probably know about Lily Tino if you're involved in any way whatsoever in this debate. Thankfully, Lily Tino has recently canceled himself. But once again, Aron will not answer the question because he knows it will demonstrate his falsehood. This one, as you can see, is a serial killer. New life as a woman. Should that person be allowed in women's restrooms? This person unalived 3 ladies, blames her male persona. Should that person be allowed to go in the women's restroom? Davina Ayrton is found guilty of doing a bad thing to not an adult. Should they be allowed? And another trans person convicted of bad stuff to not an adult. Ooh, they were cited for using the women's restroom. But I just want Aron to answer if this person should be allowed. Be consistent. I guess that's about all the photos I need to go over, I think. Like I said, the original comments, my comments seem to be gone. So I couldn't get Aron's original photos except for the ones I recall, or I kind of saved myself. So there we are. Me versus Aron. You can decide. If you want to demonstrate me wrong, please do so. But just don't say you're wrong. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Like I said, I think I'm going to do 2 more shows on this matter. And maybe we'll be done with this part of the block.